You are now listening to the Life of Produk Podcast.
Yeah, what up, man? It's the boy Produk. You're now locked into the Life of Produk Podcast. Today is a very, 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 very big day, man. We doing big things over here, big things are going. Yo, it is episode 100. Episode 100, man. Thank you to all of y'all that have been rocking with the show from YouTube to the streaming platforms. We are at a lot of subscribers, and I still need more on YouTube. It is youtube.com/LifeOfProdukTV. We on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I got the homie Ace Jonez in the building. What's good, brother?
What's going on, man?
Yo, this is his second time on the show. I appreciate this guy so much, man. Yo, you called in last time. You came up here to the studio to rock out with me. What's good with you?
Hey, man, just blessed, bro.
Blessed,
out here,
bro.
Just living
Blessings
the dream,
on,
bro.
Blessings on living the dream,
bro.
you know what I'm saying? Living the dream. Is it a nightmare or is it a dream? Which one is it?
Well, man, it's in between. It can go either way, but it's making it better, making it look beautiful.
Depending on how much melatonin you took that night, right? You know what I'm saying? Yo, listen, man. Let me ask you real quick. Mental health check-in. Where are you at right now?
I'm in a good spot, man.
That's good.
Literally, man, my journey has been kind of wild, but I mean, I think that's the most important thing as an artist, that you have that story and you build from it. But, mentally, I'm good. You know
That's
what I mean?
good. I like to ask people that because everybody goes through things, and, we got to wear a mask every day. We got to, it's kind of like I look at life like when we wake up and we leave the house, we go to work, we do whatever, we got to, be in character.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We shouldn't have to, but that's just kind of how society is. You ever feel like it's easy to break character when you out and about and just, you got to keep yourself together?
Yeah. I do. Yeah.
And that's a real thing. I like to talk to people about that. You got some joints out there, brother. You got some higher vibrations, 65 days. What producers have you worked with?
Man, I haven't really worked with a lot of producers. I kind of like the way that my engineer and producers going right now.
Yeah.
I'm open to work with more people, and that's what I'm trying to expand. But Ryan has been my main guy. He's also my engineer, man. Shout out to him. And he's Figure Media Studio. He's been taking over basically my stuff, and I feel like right now he knows my sound and where I'm trying to go. So
so he engineers everything.
Yeah, he's
pretty dope. From the quality I heard is dope. It's hard to find good quality as an independent artist, man.
That's true. That's true.
Because I did records back in the day, and I had to redo them because the records was dope, but it wasn't level right.
Right, I got you.
Or the mastering wasn't right. You ever ran into those problems early on?
Yeah, I did. I definitely did at points in times, and kind of like you said, just going back and fixing it, or just trying to figure out a way. But I feel real in suit with him ever since I got with Figure Media Studios and started recording. We became really good friends, and then on a part of engineering, I'm like, I like kind of what he's doing.
That's dope.
So we just
that's
running
a talent I don't have, brother.
Hey, me and you both.
I can't do it. You know what? A lot of people don't know. I actually know how to produce. I'm pretty dope. I took a break from it, but I know how to produce. But engineering, man, your ear gotta be
different.
There. It gotta
that's
be there.
for sure.
You know what? I one time, right? So it's embarrassing, but I actually took the time so I'll engineer my podcast, but that's different.
Got you.
Like hip hop vocals got a punch different.
Certain different things, yeah.
Yeah. So one day I sat down and I did a whole song, and I tried to engineer the whole thing from the stems to everything, and it came out somewhat decent. But I was like, I can't do this every song.
I got you.
It's not for me.
I feel you.
Yo, you know what? I'm hoping that they make. I'm hoping that how they got Landa and e-mastering and stuff like that. You can master online, right? Landa's dope. And I heard a rumor that Nas was one of the original investors. And if he is, shouts out to Nas.
Yeah, that's a fact.
But if they come out with a website or some type of AI where you can mix your record down in one shot, I'm on it.
Yeah, that's good for me too. That's
on it. I'm on it, brother. That's what I'm hoping they do that. Does the new AI wave kind of scare you?
Yeah, it's definitely something different, different from the ways that we have been doing things. But, I feel like it, we'll get synced in eventually. It is kind of scary though.
It's kind of scary. Imagine, but you know what's crazy about AI? So on the entertainment side, right? The entertainment side from the business side is totally different. You got people writing whole essays with AI, right? And I think that's pretty dope. It's kind of cheating, but it is what it is, right? Yeah. Now on the music side, it's kind of like one of them things where what if you take a person like me, I can't sing, right? I might sound decent with the right effects, right?
Right.
So say if you're an artist, you rapping whatever, you need to sing on your hook, but you can't find one, right?
Right.
You AI that. And now you sound
perfect.
Perfect. You sound perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude.
Do you think a person get a pass for that?
Nah. No, I couldn't. You're right. I get. It's definitely weird. Yeah,
it's kind of
you're doing less to work, and it doesn't make you the artist that you can be, and you know. I mean, I'm more acquired to doing it the old regular way, you know.
Old school it, you know what I'm saying?
Old school.
Yo, I thought we saw when we saw the Tupac hologram.
Oh yeah,
I thought I was like, oh,
that was the breaking into the whole new thing.
We
didn't
like,
know,
this
but
is
it
like,
was,
and then that was how many years ago was that?
Goodness, was it like 4 or 5 or 6? I don't know.
4, 5 or 6
yeah,
years
it kind of
ago.
scared me, man.
It kind of was scary, yo.
Yeah, it threw me off. I was like, God, that's crazy.
You know, we saw that, and then you remember that Marvel movie when Tony Stark was on stage at the school and he had like his hologram
or
whatever.
Yeah.
I kind of fell into the lines of that.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know what though? When it comes to hip hop, right? We always credit this person, that person. We don't never credit the people like the sound designers. We don't credit the people that make Nexus. We don't credit the people that made the newest effect for Pro Tools. Like, why you think that's the reason behind that?
Honestly, I really don't.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I feel that it's a limited space of, you know, when if the credit's going to like an artist or people like that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think it's just we forget to be humble and think where we came from or the people that we surround ourselves with. So I can only put that on like the main person that acquires the attention.
Yeah.
You know, are you still humble enough to know your beginnings to show those people?
That's a fact, brother.
You know?
Yeah. I want to see a shift in that. Like I saw somebody post the other day and it was like, oh, let's thank this man. He's the godfather of FL Studio. So the dude that made FL Studio, a picture went viral of him years ago, I guess when he first made it or whatever. Right. But so like stuff like that. So
I love that.
Perfect example, right? Look at the Doja Cat on the streets with the that was a hard sample, right?
Right.
Yo, I'm gonna keep it. I was working on an album for my first client, right? My very first client. And I had that sample way before that song came
that's
out.
dope.
You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
So I ain't gonna tell nobody where I got it from because y'all don't need to know that. Do your own thing.
Don't be trying to steal it.
Exactly. But my thing is, right, why don't we ever credit the dudes that make these sound packs? You never hear who that is. Like I had a Scott Storch sound pack, and it was people was like, oh, it's Scott Storch. Okay, it was Scott Storch, but what about the 1,000 other dudes that make these sound packs? They make these loops or whatever, and we know nobody credit these people, man. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like, you know, at some point, I think the game's changed where it's kind of watered down. Like we don't, you know, the appreciation for hip hop and where it started from, and just the evaluation of things. I see it, you know, through time, it's been changing.
Yeah.
And, you know, I feel like we need to get back to appreciation and roses to anyone that has a part to do with anything amazing with music.
Yeah.
Music is beautiful, man. And
it is.
Everyone deserves their flowers.
Exactly. You know? They do. I think, you know what? I watched the thing too. It kind of like, I don't want to say made me look at them different. I watched I like to watch like a lot of panel discussions and stuff like that.
Right.
And this might have been like around COVID or after COVID. And there was a panel discussion or whatever. It was like a music summit. And Mike Will was on stage with Timbaland and a few other people, and they were talking about how when he first got in the game, I guess he did some work on the Timbaland. He produced something, and you know how sometimes producers be like supervisors or tweak one thing. It's kind of what it was, and Mike Will didn't get the credit, or he didn't get the money he was deserved, and the crowd wasn't feeling that.
Oh wow!
And Timbaland was like, he was like basically the way he was raised and came in the game. What was his words? I don't want to. It's not verbatim, but you get paid your worth is what he said.
Oh wow!
And you could tell Mike Will kind of felt a certain type of way about it. He was like, "Look, it is what it is." It was in the game, but it's like Jay-Z said when you first come in the game, they try to play you, and that's not me discrediting Timbaland, but it's kind of like, all right, brother, if the shoes was different, how would you feel?
That's true.
If you came in the game and then they didn't, you know what I'm saying? And that happens a lot.
Yeah.
And you ever seen that happen? Like, or has that ever happened to you? Where you didn't get the credit you deserve for something, but you know what I'm saying?
I feel like that's happened a lot. You know, but it's how I took it.
Yeah.
And
you gotta take it to the chin sometimes.
Overcome those things. Because at the point, I think when I first started, you know, I started in actually this Hickory scene was where the music was.
Yeah.
So I'm originally from the Newton area, but I had to come there.
Yeah.
And I had like a laptop and like headphones, like literally trying to make music. And I started off at Club 5 and
oh wow.
Yeah, back in the days. Yeah, man. And you know, at the time, you know, I was just trying to be involved with music, man. And you know, a lot of times the guys was like this and that. And, you know, I knew I wasn't the best or anything like that. You know, I was working towards, you know, getting better. So, you know, a lot of times, even with contracts and stuff like that or just teams, I went through a lot of that. But I feel like at the end of the day, it's how you respond back to it.
That's a fact.
And, you know, I took that and just worked harder, you know what I mean? So, And the thing is, as far as like the credit or anyone is, if you put in any type of work, I feel that you should get paid for it.
That's a fact. Well, hold that thought, brother. We're gonna take a break real quick. Shouts out to Anchor. Shouts out to Spotify for podcasters. We will be right back with the second part of the show. Yeah, what up, man? It's the boy Produk. We're now back with the Life of Produk Podcast. It's the second part of the show, episode 100. We keeping it 100. I got the homie Ace Jonez in the building. What's good, my guy?
Hey, man, just chilling, bro. It's a great day, man.
It was a great day, man. Weather's nice. You know, I got a bad habit of coming in here when it's raining, and it's like I'm shocked because this is like, you know what I'm saying? I was in here a couple of days ago. It was pouring, right. But yo, we were talking about doing music in the Hickory area. I remember when I got to Hickory the first time, right. In the late '90s, and I was there till like early 2000s or whatever,
right.
And the music scene, there's a lot of potential.
I said the same thing. I think it's a very much increase in more people coming.
Yes.
I've just found out there's some artists that are coming from different places, and they're like, "Yo, check my music out." And I'm like, "Yo, there's so much talent here," and even before.
Yes,
and that's the great thing about it. And I just feel like we all have to bring it together.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people get into this mode where it's like, I got this doing it myself. But working together and expanding, that's what we need for as North Carolina, because we were talking about earlier about how Atlanta's stature is. And, and you said that you feel like there's a missing piece.
Yeah, and that's what we said. In North Carolina, there's a missing ingredient somewhere. I don't know where or what it is, but there's a missing ingredient. What possibly might be the problem is, see, everybody in Atlanta is related.
That's true.
Everybody in Atlanta is related. I love Atlanta, but everybody related. So a lot of these artists and producers, that's their cousins, right? But is that a bad thing? That's a good thing. Like Rocco and Future cousins. You know what I'm saying?
It's always a good thing.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's kind of one of them things where, like, if me and you cousins, you ain't even got to ask.
We ain't got to ask.
It is what it is. My mother, your mother's sisters, you already know what it is.
That's it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of wish North Carolina took a page out of ATL's book. Yeah. Like, if you go to a studio in ATL, right, and they would pretty much trickle down the money, which is smart. They keeping it in-house, so they built a whole bunch of studios or whatever. Mm-hmm. If this person was recording a record in the A room, that record got passed to the B, C, and D room, and each producer's adding something, whichever one hit.
I seen that with J. Cole's group. They did a whole where they had like the whole team in different parts of the sessions.
Dreamville guys, right?
Dreamville dudes. Yes. Yo, they was so sick.
That's right. And that's how you keep them now. This person getting points, this person getting royalties off of it and stuff like that. But I've also seen in North Carolina, particularly in the Hickory area, a lot of hating goes on other people. So
see, that was the thing I was getting to. It's more of a like, I won't work with this person scenario and this, and I feel like that it's time to break the mold. It is that. And you know, with me, I'm always open to work with anybody, and I give credit when it's due. There's a lot of artists that I know that are talented. I can give names out for days. But shout out to Hickory on the music scene with a lot of talented artists. Like you said, there is something missing. I'm hoping that we can't find it, because we do have potential just in North Carolina alone.
A lot, man.
You know?
There's a lot of potential.
Sure.
Like, I remember meeting artists in North Carolina, and I used to be like, yo, why you not?
Why you ain't?
Why? You know what I'm saying? When people, it's funny because J. Cole's from North Carolina, but he lived in New York for so many years. Like, I've had people be like, oh, we don't got that many rappers. What, P.D. Pablo? And I'll be like, well, what about J. Cole?
J. Cole is like an all-time
J. Cole's on a whole nother plateau with it.
And even with talking to you and you being from New York, from Brooklyn, the thing is, whenever we got together during that set with that movie, and then I hit you up first, I'm like, yo, I'm taking that J. Cole approach, and me just getting up and going and talking to you know, I think you were in Jersey at the time.
I was, that's right.
And then I moved to the Bronx, man. I was like, I gotta just go.
Yeah. So I was actually happy you made that move, man. It was kind of like one of the things where, like, it's kind of, you ever, as a man, sometimes you got to venture out and you got to kind of go find yourself.
That's true.
And you got to just go out into the world, man.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of artists from here don't do that. They don't go.
It was a big step, bro. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Everybody from North Carolina goes to Atlanta.
Yeah,
but they think twice about going to New York.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But that had to be like, when you got there, what was your first thought? Like,
I was staying in touch with you. I think when I had first got there, I ended up in Manhattan. And I'm gonna say,
you saw the buildings. It was like, yo,
you're exactly right. Like, it felt like, first time being in New York, it felt like something off a movie.
Yeah.
Like when you're in Manhattan, and then they actually show like scenes in movies,
like Home Alone when you got there, right?
I'm looking up in the sky at these buildings and just seeing all this going on, and
Yeah.
I'm a little overwhelmed.
The energy
at this
is
point.
fire though.
I'm like,
you know
yo, what did I do?
Yeah. and it's easy to feel like that.
Yeah,
It's overwhelming, but it's like it's kind of exciting.
It was
at the same time.
I felt like a moment of being overwhelmed, but I was like, you know, it's time to, you know what I mean?
Time to get it, right?
Let's go.
What I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
Let's go.
You know, after, you know, kind of got that over with, hey, shout to MJ. She's an incredible person to put me on all the radios from Brooklyn, Queens. I mean, had me everywhere. Man. So I took off fast, and I got a lot of love from New York and even open mics. And let me tell you one thing about New York. When you go to these open mics, these dudes they ain't just singing those songs. These dudes are off the top freestyle. So you gotta bring something with any type of events you go into as far as open mics in New York. So you gonna have to bring your talent. And these guys were phenomenal.
Yo, that's dope. That's dope,
like
man.
lyrical type stuff, man. So I got to experience that and be a part of that and meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
And man, it's like my second home now. Like I love it. And we just talked about. I'm like, I gotta go back.
You gotta go back. Yo, you know what I love about open mics in New York? I've in my experience of doing open mics, I've seen people show a lot of love. And one thing about us New Yorkers, we could be the most disgruntled people in the world, but we don't play. We don't play, but we always show out of town is love.
We
show a lot of.
And I think that's the concept with a lot of people down south is what they're worried about coming before making that move. They're like, you know, what they hear.
Just don't stare at us.
What they hear, and then when you go there and then you experience the love. So, I mean, when I got there, it was all love. But first thing I was like, yo, you know, be cautious. This, you know, they don't play. So you got to watch your surroundings. But it was just mad love from the gate, man. And, you know, being in the Bronx and just being a part of where hip hop piece of where it started, and then going to Brooklyn and different places and seeing different monumental stuff to hip hop. I was like, yo,
it was fire, right?
This is like everything when I was little I thought about, like you know the Rakims, LL Cool J,
and then you know
original hip hop music, and you know that's what I fell in love with. So that whole experience was just phenomenal, man.
And I think it's great that you did that. My question is, how did it contribute to your craft?
Man. I did Call Me, which it has, you know, it gives me that kind of feel like that. I wanted to do it like an LL Cool J cell phone thing where you're sitting on a stoop and with the Kango hats type vibe,
you know what I'm saying?
In New
with
York.
A lawsuit,
so that was kind of the vibe I was going through. It was inspirational with you know, some of the songs I did. And I feel like, you know, as my dream, I always was listening to the older artists, you know, and so it was just like, gosh, man, it helped me so much in my craft. I feel like I needed to go to a place where hip hop started in order to continue my journey doing music. That was my motivation to feel, you know, everything. So man, it was amazing.
I always looked like hip hop like martial arts. It was crazy because when I moved to North Carolina, I was already rapping. And I had to look at my life and I was like, okay, I'm not back home, but how creative can I really be to still be good? And I tapped into that. Then it was like I said, I look at it like martial arts. I was going to open mics and shows. It was like going to different dojos. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
Okay, who's your best fighter here?
All right.
He ain't winning today. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm talking about.
It's a beautiful thing, man. I've met people at open mics that have excelled.
I
mean, I was at my homeboy shot a video for AZ. He's AZ's first cousin.
Okay.
And he shot a video for him, and we was at the premiere at this lounge. I think we was in Harlem. A lot of people was there. Mendices from Love and Hip Hop was there. A lot of people was there. But there was this one girl there, and we were talking. I forgot her name. And she ends up becoming a actress. We were actually supposed to I had a contact information. We were supposed to do something like because I had a magazine at the time as well.
Gotcha.
Just everybody's busy. But she was like literally a month later. I'm seeing her in like 3 commercials. I'm
killing it.
I'm like, yo, she's doing her thing.
And see, like, you're right.
You just never know who you're gonna meet up there.
That's
you know
a fact, and I think that you hit that right on point. Like, literally, I was on tour, and I've met some amazing artists. I was in that. Shout to Nashville, man.
Nice.
Nashville, Atlanta, and I was actually just supposed to do an event for Eazy-E's daughter.
In
Atlanta. But I'm gonna miss that due to some other things I have going on. But
that's fire.
Man, it's just like, you know, even with open mics or just being on tour, bro, the people that you meet, and you know, just see where they take off and to follow them, like Instagram. I had to follow so many people, and now I'm seeing them do this and do that and win awards. It's an amazing thing, you know. like I said, even with meeting you and at the point when I met you, you were acting and everything. Now you got the podcast and it's blowing up. You're doing your thing. You know so, that's the type of vibes I like to be around. Yeah. And the thing is, let me tell you about my dude. He can do everything. Yeah, honestly, he does the podcast. I've seen him act. He's a good actor and he does music. So, I look up to that. Yeah. Seeing my friends do good things and
it's inspirational.
It's very inspirational.
Hold that though. We about to take a break. Shouts out to Anchor. We will be right back with the third part of the Life of Product Podcast, episode 100. Stay tuned.
For sure.
Yeah, what up, man? It's the boy Product. We're now back with the Life of Product Podcast. I want to take a quick minute to say thank you to everybody that has supported the show for these 100 episodes. It started in 2020. It started during the pandemic. I started this and I had a spare bedroom in my crib when I moved to Jersey. I didn't even have a mic screen yet. I had a box up on the wall and I put some soundproofing in it. So to go from that to having my own office to now recording in a podcast actual studio down right outside of Uptown Charlotte, it is a blessing, man. And thank you to everybody. And a lot of y'all really hit me up with inspirational messages saying how I inspired y'all lives. When I'm just honestly, I'm just up here kicking realism. You know what I'm saying? So if my realism is gonna make your life better, I'm gonna keep on doing it. I got the homie Ace Jonez in the show. What's good, brother?
What's good?
We in the QC right now. We in Charlotte, North Carolina, right outside of Uptown. Does Charlotte kind of give you Atlanta vibes? It feels like a mini ATL.
Mini ATL.
Thank God the traffic isn't as bad.
Yeah, true.
Because traffic is bad, sure, but it ain't nowhere near.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Nah,
it's
bro.
Crazy,
I was out on ATL a few years ago. I had my nephews with me. And we were going because they a little older. We were going. Right. I had bought a lens off a dude off Craigslist. This is how long ago it was, right?
I got you.
And I had to go from Lawrenceville to I forgot what part of ATL. And Lawrenceville like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
away. But with traffic, it took a minute.
Oh yeah, it's gonna take a good minute.
And it was like no through streets. Everything was straight.
When they say 5 o'clock traffic, 6 o'clock traffic, or morning time, you gotta get up at 6. Man, it's like that.
I felt like I was
crazy.
back in Brooklyn. I was like, nah, this ain't the wave.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not the wave.
Now you in New York, you know what I'm saying? In New York. It's like, forget the car.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, Atlanta traffic is ridiculous.
It is. But shouts out to ATL, man. Because you've been in ATL, what's the music scene like now in ATL?
It's always crazy. And to say that I've spent a lot of time there and I have a lot of connections there. I always try to. I had to really piece up from New York. I feel like New York and Atlanta are like my main places right now. But it's always jumping.
Yeah,
it's always something you can get into, and the fact that they show love is always awesome. You're gonna run into so many different artists with so much different, talent, and so you can have a feature for literally any type of track that you want to go.
Yeah,
that's how Atlanta is so creative with the music scene.
Yeah,
and most of the people are not from Atlanta. They're moving from everywhere. You know what I mean?
It's becoming like a melting pot, which is really
it's
crazy.
Starting to become crazy.
I would have never thought that because the first time I went to ATL, everybody was from there.
Right.
As I got older and I'm like, wait a minute, you don't sound like you from here.
Yeah, it sounds like something. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
But I think that's dope. I think diversity is a beautiful thing, man. I think we need more diversity. Speaking of diversity, I know this is off topic, but have you been watching like the Olympics with the women and the Shakira?
I seen old girl like
she did it.
She went ham on the and she won it. And I think she had a really important message. I forgot what it said, but she said something really real that I read, and it stuck with me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So what she was doing it for, and how kind of just what she's standing for. I thought that was really special, and to see that was crazy, bro.
I love the fact that she was there, and her and the two girls from Jamaica all support each other.
Oh yeah,
because there's a lot of So growing up in Brooklyn, I tell a lot of people, like when I was a kid in the 80s or whatever, late 80s or whatever,
right?
A lot of people, there were a lot of African American people. Then into the 90s, there was a lot of Caribbean and West Indian people, then a lot of Haitian people, a lot of African people, African American people. To my knowledge, in Brooklyn, are like the minority or whatever. So there's a lot of we all together, but there's diversity in a lot of stuff. Too.
I noticed that in New York, the spreading, because just like how you said the spread with different the sections is kind of. Like when I was in the Bronx, I was like most of the people, I was, I'm being the only black guy there.
Yeah.
There's not many in the Bronx.
Yeah.
And then you have Dominican.
Yeah. A lot of Dominicans.
Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, man.
And different other, races in. And so, I was just trying to learn like
you
every
section
of it.
though.
I picked up quick.
Yeah.
start learning how it works. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh, okay. Which is really cool though in a way.
It is.
But I just wish it would be more accepting because I could tell it was like kind of sectioned out for a reason.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it was, it all came together.
Yeah.
Like I got some of the best friends from different races, and that's what I like about the cultural thing in New York. Yeah.
I hate how people try to, amongst black people, they always try to make it, Jamaican versus Trini, Bayesian versus guy. Like, it don't need to be like that.
It don't need to.
It don't. We like literally all come from the city. We just got different accents. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But I'm glad to see that with the Olympics, whatever, they showed each other so much love.
Facts.
And the fact that they were females showing each other love,
right?
I feel like a lot of young girls need to see that because they need to see that instead of seeing like the Zeus Network stuff and the Baddies Club. And no disrespect to them, get your bag.
I mean,
but it's kind of like at a certain point, it's kind of like, all right, all women don't act like this.
Yeah,
it's
the promotion of kind of. I feel like it's in a way it's kind of like something they're pushing. They're pushing they even harder now, especially with young girls. I feel like it's always something. We always need something positive, but it's like the yin and yang.
It is.
It's the yin and yang. You gotta have the light, and then you gotta have the darkness.
Yes,
and they try to hit you. They try to switch it up, the narratives, and just push it certain ways. But just like I catch it every time. Yeah. Like what you guys are trying to do. Yeah. But I feel like whenever you shine a light, it's always gone. It's always gonna come out more. That's way better than the darkness. So if it'll be all right.
If a reality show came to you right now.
No, I'm not doing it. Hey man, I stay with these words: stay real, righteous, and relevant.
I like that. I'm gonna use that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, I'm gonna use it.
In my career, I want to say too that I did it my way.
That's good.
I've had many contracts pushed my way. Yeah. I know that's artists' dreams, but me and as we know, we know how it works. And the thing is, I'm thankful how far I got in my career, and I finished it out independent. I moved to other things. Yeah. I've been blessed to do a lot, and I'm just looking for the right opportunities. Yeah. I got a lot of good music out, and I feel like us just being, like you said on your show, you keep it real. Yeah. You're gonna be you, and I feel like that's the thing to maintain. Never lose yourself. There's so many ways you can lose yourself with life, man. And you know how this game is.
Yo,
man.
You get caught up, brother.
You can get caught up in this game.
You get caught. You start feeling yourself, and then you a different. You're not the same person you was 12 months ago. You know what I'm saying?
That and I feel like what I was blessed to say with me was, I had to go through a lot of stuff. Yeah. I've lost like my best friend and people. And literally I had to like regroup. And that's when you asked me about my mental health. And I'm thinking about that now. Like, I was not in a good place. Yeah. And I can honestly be real and say that. Like, I've lost people back to back. Man, there was at a point where literally people were dying every week. Yeah, I didn't even know how to go to funerals or who and what to go to. So mental health, let me tell you guys, it's important. Don't ever feel ashamed of it. I've been through my storms. Yeah. I'm an introvert, extrovert, so I love people, but I don't like, I'm different, okay? Yeah. Uh-huh. But, we all go through our battles, man. So if you're struggling with anything, I encourage you to talk to somebody. Yeah. Never just deal with it yourself if you feel like
that's
can't.
Great advice for listeners.
But go to someone that you can trust in and feel that they're gonna listen. Because a lot of times I went to people and they're just like, I got my own problems. So make sure that you entrust.
It makes you feel bad that you even open up to them. When that's their response,
what really happens. Reflective why people commit those things, because whenever they open, they probably don't do that often, and then it's like, this is why I don't. So I encourage anyone that's going through anything, pick up the phone and call somebody. Because I would love to hear from you, and then hearing that you passed away. Yes. And I wish that I could have did that a lot of times with my friends. Something I'm not gonna say. I kind of regret, but you know what? I just got to work on being better myself. So,
I understand that, man. So before we wrap up the show, man, what can your fans look forward to? You got anything coming out soon?
Man, I'm working on a track, Come Closer, right now. Got a reggae vibe, R&B.
Oh, that's what's up.
I'm tapping into my R&B. So I'm not Chris Brown or nobody.
I like that Paradise Island joint that you had. Is it gonna have like the same vibes to it?
It's gonna be kind of like that. Actually got more of a little reggae feel, but kind of in the same similarity. I'm trying to open up more of an R&B side and do some different things. Yeah. I mean, that's really how I base my career off.
That's dope.
At this point in my career of still learning in the game, man, I've maneuvered and learned. I feel like this is my growing time, and I'm just having fun with music. Right. And not also that, I'm also thinking of an opportunity, and I'm running into some stuff. Some record labels have been contacting me, so I'm just trying to see where I want to go with that. And I have a lot of shows, new music. Like I said, Come Closer's coming. I'll be featuring an artist on that.
Nice.
So yeah, man, that's
good. So
I'm at a peaceful. Yeah, I'm in that peaceful state. Like
that's
I went through that.
Brother.
You know how you go through that. What's that? What they call it? The mist when you go through a tornado and then you're at the peace point in the middle of it, where it's silent, and then you come out. I'm at that enjoying that, enjoying life, man.
That's great, man.
Enjoying myself. You know what I mean?
And that's good.
You know what I mean?
You're able to enjoy yourself because sometimes we get so caught up in this independent ground, we get tunnel vision, and then we lose sight of everything else that's beautiful around us. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking from experience. Like I had to do that one day, and I sat on my couch, and I was like, yo. Let me chill for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And it was one of the best decisions I made at that time because I was missing out on I wasn't even hanging out. Like I was just, everything was writing, producing, podcasting, writing, produce, go. And I had to take a break, man. I had to take a break.
And see, that's things I need to do more, even with my friends, even with you. If I would have been around, be like, yo, take a break. Because my cousin had posted something. He was like, yo, I'm tired.
Yeah, I get it.
He could tell you. I think he's on here now. I was like, yo, take a break, bro.
Take a break,
because
man.
I don't think people understand. Being independent, you put all the money into yourself.
Yes.
You have to do this. You got to pay for this.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, just a new artist, when you come into this game, and I'm just being, you can make as many songs as you want.
Yes.
Plateau, that's free.
Yeah.
But let me tell you what they don't tell you. You got to have streams. You got to have this. You got to have that.
Everything.
So I don't want to shut anyone's down. I want you to go for your dreams by all means. But let's just know that, man, there's so much you have to put in and so much you're going to sacrifice. So make sure this is what you want to do. I encourage somebody to do it. But this game is so tough. If you want to be independent. I mean,
you are a business. And the problem was a lot of artists, business is a talent, and a lot of artists don't have the business talent. They have the music. I knew dudes that could produce all day. I knew a dude, amazing producer, rapper, videographer, but when it came to business, he didn't know how to talk to people. And it wasn't his fault. He just he was for the projects. He just didn't know how to talk to people.
And to see, the thing is, you're exactly right. And what they don't tell you is like, with the music industry, music is like 10% of the game. The music business is everything.
It is.
So you rapping and recording is only 10% of the music industry. So the business is that's everything.
And it's wild, man. You know what's crazy? I was listening to a podcast with Hulk Hogan the other day.
Right.
I do a lot of research, everything from music to podcasting. I want to see what everybody else is doing. Not to always do what they're doing, but to kind of go left and put my own sauce on it. And I was listening to Hulk Hogan. Yeah. Hulk Hogan he said he learned the business of wrestling early on. Early on, he learned the business. And he said how he was grinding so hard once he learned the business. If he would do this from Monday through Friday, he would fly out to Japan, wrestle, and come right back right after the match.
Get right back on.
He was getting that international bag.
Hungry.
Then he said so basically something happened between WWF and Disney acquired the rights to him, his image. Well, Disney put a clause and didn't pay attention and messed up on the clause. And I think in the early 2000s or early 2010s, the clause allowed him to buy his name back, I think, for like $700,000. Something like that.
He was on it.
So everything that say Hulk Hogan now is all his. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing.
So
I chilling now.
That man learned the business early on, and it's even though that's not music, business is business.
Yeah.
So once you gotta fail to kind of sometimes.
And that's the and I would say, like, I heard what Will Smith said, and just the fact you fail often.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like literally every mistake, criticize of my music or anything that people had to say, I took that to the chin because I needed to learn.
Oh, I get it.
You know, anything.
I get
like
it.
So with the fact of, I tell people to fail as much as possible because, man, you'll never know what you're capable of once you come back, man. And I feel like every time that I've had to learn something, I came back harder every time.
That's a fact.
And I just tell people, like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I used to get discouraged when I first started doing music and failing. It's like this, but now when I, as being older, I take that for what it is. You know what I mean, and really learn something from it. So it's
I get it, man. I get it. I have had things, endeavors I put money into, put $2-3 grand into it, and you don't get the results, and it's like.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like, whoa.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Like I dropped the record one time and I thought that record was the one, yo. I was like, this is about to go off. We was in a club. DJ Self was spinning it from Power 105, a couple other DJs, and that was his peak. And it was like, yo, wait a minute. Wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? But you live and you learn.
Yeah.
So what I did the next time after that, I did it better. You know what I'm saying? But it's trial and error. You have to do that.
And then in this game, and I'm glad you said that, man. And like, you know, I've been in the same situations. Yeah. It's just like it's gonna be a hit and miss situation like that, man. It is. You know, and you know the game's changing so much. They want this, they want that, and you know, I'm pretty sure where we're at in our lives and in our careers and business wise, it's like, yo, I don't even stay up with the waves anymore. It's just kind of we're comfortable just doing what we do. Yeah. And I think that I love that. I love that.
I think at this point in life, people like yourself, people like me, when it comes to music, don't stay up with the wave because that wave is not gonna last. It's not. True. If you look at the one hit wonders from 2013 to 2023, that music that they was making is not processing anymore.
That's a fact.
Nobody's rocking with that. Right. So at the end, and then too, a lot of these kids kind of, I don't want to call kids stupid, but they kind of don't know what they're doing. Yeah. When it comes to it, because for you to like, if you're a boxer or whatever, you need to watch tapes of other boxers. You need to train and learn. These kids just go in the studio and they just make stupid music. Yeah. And it don't last. Yeah. It's not resonating.
I think just that part of hip hop and just understanding what it is. Cause like, you know, when we were younger, we were like researching these guys. Yeah, like, remember Jay-Z was.
Remember buying CDs and you was looking at the credits? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Looking at crates and going back.
All of that.
You remember
everything.
When we was going to the with some stores you had where you could press that album, put the album there, and listen with the headphone.
I started working at a store in the mall one time just to be able to do that.
Yo, I'm telling you, those was the days. So I feel like you know the young, what you're saying is exactly right. They don't have that drive with knowing where hip hop started from, or it's just like, let's go in the booth and do that.
Just do that. Like,
and it's like education and just studying artists. Like I was literally studying artists' cadence. I was like, I didn't want to be like that, but I like that flow. I like how you said that. That was, you know what I mean? That was
my pops used to take me to HMV in Manhattan, which is House of Music and Video. It's not there no more, I believe. Right. And this was like one of the biggest record stores in Manhattan, in New York, right? I remember going there. I remember seeing people, Beanie Man would be there signing autographs. I remember seeing Chris John, which was a group that Rockefeller signed. And the Biggie and Tupac record running, right? Right. Before it came out, before Eminem had reproduced it, I had the original copy. What? Bro. I had the original copy with like 2-3 versions on it. What? You know what I'm saying? I can't make this up. And I took it back to my block, and everybody's like, they was like, yo, Biggie ain't got a song with Tupac. I was like, they got a song together. And I was just banging the CD. Like, bong, check it out. You know what I'm saying? That was my bragging rights. You know what I'm saying? Up. I like that. We don't find that no more. Everything on YouTube.
Nah, man.
On SoundCloud, you know what I'm saying? It's different now, brother. But
I just went through having some old vinyl records, and I mean, I was like a while back. Yeah. I found myself listening. This might not sound weird, but I was listening to Jimi Hendrix.
That's not weird at all. I was just listening to some Jimi Hendrix. Yeah. I was listening to the 2 weeks ago.
I was like, yo, these old records, like, it makes me feel alive still. You know what I mean? It makes me know what I fell in love with music for. Yeah. And you know, like we were talking about, even being in there and scanning the CDs, and you just be having the headphones on. It was a time, brother. Like, yo, yeah, man.
And you know what's dope about vinyl? When you first put it on, you hear that like that crackling sound. Like it's different, man. Kids today they don't process it. But all right, before we wrap the show, episode 100, man. Thank you for coming in. Before we wrap the show up, is there anything you want to say to your listeners? Any words of motivation? Talk to them.
Hey, man. Let me see where to start, man. It's been a crazy year. Within this year, I'm back on my feet. I've actually had some back issues. I was out for like 2 years and really trying to bounce back. So I'm glad you touched on mental health. Yeah. I feel better than ever. Man, this is the beginning. Music's doing great. It's taking off. Y'all can follow me on my Spotify, Ace Jonez. Also go to you can just look my name up, Ace Jonez, on YouTube. You know, just check all my stuff out there. I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of at that peak independently where it's just like I'm having fun with it.
That's dope.
New records coming. Like I said, not even following like no trends of what's going on. I just feel in a good space to be writing, and you're gonna a lot of different music from me, singing and rapping this year. Possibly talking to a record company, see how it goes.
That's
we'll
what's
see.
up, brother.
I don't know, man.
I'm gonna congratulate you now. We gonna manifest it. You know what I'm saying?
So, but it's peace and love, everybody, man. In these times that we're going through, I just hope that this podcast, my guy does an amazing job at give you inspiration, and the fact that he's checking on people and talking about the things that he talks about.
I appreciate
and
that.
I've been knowing him behind scenes before this. Like when I first met him, it's instant like, yo, this dude, this is my guy.
Facts.
And he navigated me through New York, and it's just good to have good people around. So what I would tell people is, no matter what you go through, get up and show up.
Yeah.
And just be the best that you can. And,
yeah,
you know, if you fail, it's okay, man.
It's all
just
good.
keep going.
It's
just
all
keep going.
good.
That's it.
It's okay. It's
love.
Errol Spence got knocked down how many times he got back up during the fight?
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
You got Errol Spence sometimes, brother. Life's gonna knock you down, man.
That's
life.
a fact. It's gonna hit.
I didn't took a beating from
no
life. I'm gonna keep it real with you, man.
I'm like,
but,
okay.
You know
let me fall back some.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Word up.
It's like that. For sure.
Yeah, it's the boy Product, Life of Product Podcast, episode 100. YouTube.com/Life of Product Podcast. If you want to watch the old episodes, it is YouTube.com/Product TV, PRODUK TV. For sponsorships, advertisements, for interviews, it is lifeofproduct@gmail.com or corporate.Ent@gmail.com. I'm out, baby. Gia.
Yeah.
You are now listening to the Life of Product Podcast.